Somebody's still yawning,
I know, I'm so sleepy.
and she needs bathroom time. Anyway, in behind us is the front deck, roughly 2 meters, and then the width of the house. And of course, you can see by the shadowing behind us, no sun on the deck. So this will be nice. Yeah. So the guys did our donut stairs in the front. I was so focused on the AAC. The guys are supposed to be seasoned Masoons.
Yeah, they
They
it's
messed
just a
up.
minor.
That's not minor.
They
Anyway,
can they can sew. They
yeah,
know that.
yeah, you're gonna see this forever. Anyway, I'm not even gonna show you guys because that's not the focus here. Anyway, so we've kind of learned a few things, Lynn. Um, to recap, I think the electrical,
Mm-hmm.
we would only put one pipe in, and wherever we could chase the
Yeah.
AAC, we would do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've learned that doing up a couple of courses so that you get your plugs out of the way
Yeah.
is probably the best thing to do. And that helps you to start centering your internal walls. Um, you can kind of dry fit them as we did yesterday with the bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And and then because we're going to go up 3 courses, maybe 4, then that's when we can start looking at window level stuff.
Right.
So from my perspective anyway, dealing with all the electrical, and then we'll deal with the windows, and then we'll deal with the switches.
That's big to deal with.
You know, keep them in clumps, I guess, is the easiest
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So let me give you a look around. Lynn can go chase the bathroom.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us for the first time, I'm going to quickly lay out that this is the CR and TV room over here. Where all the AAC is piled up is the covered deck that will be not enclosed. We won't be focusing on this wall for quite some time. That's going to maybe almost be our last wall because we have to start looking at putting the ramp in here. Always looking to the future, guys. There may be a day where I need a ramp. I might not be in a wheelchair, but I might need a ramp. Okay, so this wall here has nothing on it at all, no electrical, no nothing. So I'm going to get one of the guys to start on this. Over where we've got the electrical, I'm going to get Victor and Apollo working on this wall because they're now becoming quite seasoned. And what we have discovered here is that Victor and Apollo, they're the young guys of the group, guys, and they are clicking in on the necessity of being meticulous. Okay, Rosindo, a little bit more. We can deal with it in the finishing course. So already we've had to do some correction on there. So no offense to him, he's a very good Masoon, but he is a banger. Okay, and so we will get him started on the ramp. And we'll get Joseph up to speed working with the other 2 guys, and once they're up to speed, then they can all start going crazy. The kicker here is going to be slow down a little bit and do it right the first time. Let's talk switches. Almost every last one of our switches is going to be right here. Okay, because the door is literally right here, and that is that far away. I'm not horsing around with chasing the AAC. Now, when I say chasing, I don't mean external. We're talking about putting this stuff in the walls. So anyway, our big bank of switches is going to be here. I think there's 6 of them all together. The CR will have its own switch, of course, but from here we can control the kitchen, the TV room, the front deck, the covered deck in the back, and then when you come into the bedroom, we have a switch on this wall for the bedroom and a switch inside the ensuite. And that's it. That's all the switches that we have. A grand total of 3 that are not a part of this electrical panel, external switches, the Wi-Fi is going here, the whole 9 yards. That's what this is. We've got the Ethernet in here. So our main modem will stay in the garage, and we will just put an extender out here. Well, the guys are dialing in quite nicely now. And a little bit soupier so that that absorbs into the AAC, and then properly grooving it. So that's cool. The guys are now into looking at the ramp and putting some levels to it. And then we'll also get our shower water diverted, because it's going to come directly out of the house. We'll have a P-trap in our little vault over there, and then it'll go around to the clarified water on the septic tank, thereby reducing the amount of potential bleach going into your bacteria chamber. You don't want that. And they don't do a gray water tank and a dark water tank here, guys, so that's how we're dealing with it. We just go around it. Lynn gets right involved, guys. This is the way it should be. They can't, because she's listening to all the words. There's no joking around, right? There's one thing that we had to talk to the crew about before, and that is, don't laugh at foreigners. We don't take it well. First off, we think we're being laughed at, whereas actually it's just a nervousness on their part. But anyway, this is helping a lot that they can have these conversations. So like many of you guys out there, this is quite a dream to be able to build a house in another country and keep within a budget that makes sense for you, okay? And you got to remember that Lynn and I live here half a year, and so this is a long-term thing for Lynn to have this piece of property to be able to build a house. Guys, she saved 8 years of savings. And so, you know, it's important. But what I'd like to touch on is, you know, our friends Mary Lou and Uli are in the same situation where, you know, they're building their first house as well. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, regardless of what you're building out there and whether you're going to have a pool or not have a pool, or, you know, any of those kind of things, or even if you're just going to have a hollow block with cocoa lumber and basic sheeting on the roof and a dirt floor, it doesn't matter. It's your home. And that's so key, isn't it? Isn't it? It's just about, you know, what we can feel good about at the end of the day, and, you know, live a life that, as this old carcass would say, living 2 lives in this old carcass. Not many of our friends can say that, guys. As a matter of fact, when they leave their countries, they want guided tours. Not this cat. One thing to note about the AAC, guys, is you don't want to waste it. So as you get pieces being chopped out, like you can see one that's got quite a break in it there. Unfortunately, as you saw from the crane operator, it's not the greatest in the world. Anyway, when you get breakage and stuff like that, we are going to start lining them all up here. And then the guys can come in and just start picking pieces rather than always grabbing a fresh block. Product management, it's very important. Don't want to be wasting money even on electrical pipe. That's why way over there near the bunkhouse, we have all of our shorts all lined up in case you need one. Go measure it. Should have bought that staging earlier. It's coming in really handy. Like the totes last year, we've had a few things that just make sense. One of our new helpers. Okay, so Joseph is up in his 4th course now. Of course, he's had nothing in his way like all this electrical. So he's meticulously going through here, and we will be dry fitting a 60 by 60 window here shortly. Guys are ready for me to start cutting some more or channeling some more AAC, because the top of those orange pipes, or 3 layers up, is where that plug is going to go above the counter. The guys are plumbing in the shower water. We didn't want any P-traps below grade underneath the concrete slab, so we put a P-trap in our vault over there, and just a convenient location if we ever want to add external water or any of those things. Anyway, there's a P-trap in there, and then we will tie this to the clarified water in the septic tank. And Rosindo is getting ready to put in the ramp. He's got his lines there. I don't know if you can see them, but he's ready to rock and roll tomorrow. The guys are coming to ask to use the tools now that they've seen them used a number of times. The multi-tool is kind of new to them. Earlier in the build, we were using the reciprocating saw and the cocoa lumber, etc. But the multi-tool is a little bit different. That's to cut in the square boxes for the electrical. This AAC has got the adhesive on it right now. Got a guide bar right now as a piece of rebar. Once that's sealed, then I will be drilling down a 2nd hole, and we will weld ready rod onto the end of the rebar, and then we will torque the two together. Not overly, but enough to make sure that that stays as a nice strong lentil. This is something that we saw in a number of Indian and Malaysian videos, where the availability of a precast lentil isn't available. Okay guys, there's what we've got for today. We had spent some time mocking up a window. Otherwise, I think Joseph would probably be close to equivalent to this wall right now. Time-wise, compared to last year, right on schedule. These electricals do slow the guys down a little bit, and that's fine. Be cautious. I'm okay. Slow down. Make sure the job's done right. Don't want to correct things later. Correct things first. Okay, guys, we're going to call this a day. Later, Gators. Have you guys had this happen to you? It happens to me periodically. This one was kind of interesting, though. I'm hearing that cow moo down there. It moos every day, but for whatever reason, as soon as he did that, or she, all I could remember was Lee Marvin going, "I was born under a wandering star." Such a deep voice, right? Anyway, I was definitely not born under a wandering star, but I sure became that wandering star once I retired. Really enjoying this.